When it comes to Black Ops 2 Zombies, there are a wide variety of weapons to choose from. Some weapons are pretty great, some are mediocre, and some are downright trash. And today, we're going to be ranking every single weapon in Black Ops 2 Zombies from worst to best. My name is Prematch, now let's go ahead and get right into this. And starting off at number 57, we have the SMR. I'm not going to lie, it was very close between this and another weapon, but I do think that this is the worst one in Black Ops 2. It's not just the fact that it has terrible accuracy, a slow fire rate, and very low damage, but it's also because this is a troll weapon by Treyarch. This is the only weapon in COD Zombies history, to my knowledge, that when you pack-a-punch it again for a second time, it actually gives you less ammo than before. So it's just an absolute troll of a freaking weapon. The SMR sucks, but there's another weapon that I do think is very, very close to it, but it does edge it out just a bit. And that weapon is going to be the Cap 40, or as I like to call it, the Crap 40. So this is one of those weapons that I feel like has honestly went under the radar a bit. When most people think of bad guns in Black Ops 2 Zombies, they think, okay, the War Machine, the SMR, but this is one that's just forgotten about. And the reason why this thing is so terrible is because even when you pack-a-punch it, it has less than 200 rounds. Like, what? Like, that's literally nothing. And the damage is just mediocre on it as well. Now, I did put it above the SMR because it does have a faster time to kill than the SMR, but only for like 10 zombies, and then you're out of ammo. So, yeah, this weapon absolutely sucks. Let's go ahead and move on. At number 55, we have the Ballistic Knife. This is the first of many repeat weapons from Black Ops 1 Zombies, and my point still stands in this game as well. There's no point at all in using the Ballistic Knife on Call of Duty Zombies past like round 10, where it becomes like a 3 or a 4-hit melee kill. So here's the deal. I know you can revive teammates if you shoot them with it. I know. Okay, I understand. But I don't care. Okay, that's only useful on solo, first off. And secondly, just get quick revive, alright? Like, there's other ways to revive people. You have monkeys? Sure, it's not worth using up an entire weapon slot in Call of Duty Zombies for the sole purpose of shooting somebody to revive them, when in all honesty, you probably could have just walked up and revived them normally in like 90% of situations. Next up at number 54, we got the Chicom CQB. This is a gun that is very similar to the Cap 40 in the sense that it's like mediocre damage, but just really no bullets at all. It has a maximum ammo count of 240 rounds when pack-a-punched. The reason that this gun is above the Ballistic Knife and the Cap 40 is because it has the mobility of the Ballistic Knife, but it has the rapid fire of the Cap 40, which makes it decent for insta-kill, I guess. So it's better than both of those two, but that's about it. Next up, we have the Olympia. This has always been the worst of the two starting room wall weapons from Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. Look, man, it's just the brutal reality. It's not good at getting points. It's only usable until about round 4, and then it starts being a 2-hit kill. Just not the greatest gun ever. It is fun to use every once in a while, sure. You know, pick it up, switch it up a bit when you're starting out, but it's definitely not as good as the M14 for getting set up. When you pack-punch this thing, though, it is pretty impressive. It has like a built-in speed cola effect where it reloads faster, even if you don't have the perk itself. And also, you have the Dragon's Breath rounds, which are pretty cool, and with double tap 2, it packs a punch. But it's just not the best thing in the world for most situations. Next up, we have another starting room wall weapon, which is going to be the Ballista. The Ballista is only on Origins, and I really do feel like it fits the map because you're in this World War I setting in the trenches with a bolt action. I think it's really cool, to be honest, and it's better than like the World at War bolt actions, where they stopped being useful at like round 2. This weapon rewards the player for having good accuracy with having good damage. It's pretty good to pop heads on the zombies up until about round 6, I would say. And when you pack-a-punch it, it is fun to use, but it's not super practical for long-term use, and it definitely is the weakest sniper in the entire game, but it is very unique and cool, so I'm going to put it here above the Olympia. But of the 3 starting room wall weapons, the M14 is just the king. It's how it is. It's good for getting points early game, has decent damage for a starting room wall gun, pretty good ammo, and it's semi-automatic. It's just the best of the best when it comes to getting set up. When you pack-a-punch it, though, it's okay. I mean, it's basically exactly what you think it would be when you Pack-a-Punch it. It just gets a little bit better than it is normally. It's definitely not worth Pack-a-Punching, though. You can use this thing, honestly, up until about round 7 or 8 if you're good enough. And every single time that I buy the M14, I always tend to have a pretty good setup. So I'm going to give credit where it's due. This is a great weapon to start out with, but it's terrible to hold on to. And at number 50, we have the S12. This is a semi-automatic shotgun, which honestly can clear out a horde because it does have above average damage, but there's like 60 rounds in it when you upgrade it. I mean, like, you're going to use that in like half of round 20, right? Like, this thing is just useless because of the ammo problem. There's no reason to Pack-a-Punch it at all. It's one of those weapons that when you get it from the box, you just immediately want to trade it out. It's not good for points either. It's just a whatever gun that isn't very good in Black Ops 2. But it does have a cool fast mag reload when you Pack-a-Punch it, so that's pretty good, I guess. At number 49, we have the B23R. This is a 3-round burst pistol that is on the wall, which is mostly known for its place on transit being in the bus. It is one of the few mobile wall weapons in Call of Duty Zombies history, meaning that it moves on the map. It's pretty cool, and it makes it unique for that reason, and it's actually pretty decent at getting you set up on the earlier rounds. I'm talking like rounds 5 to like 10, but it just gets outshined by all the other weapons that are on the wall that are within similar price ranges. This gun is absolutely not worth Pack-a-Punching whatsoever. It has just over 200 rounds. It does become full auto, but the price increase of the ammo just doesn't justify the damage and the ammo upgrade that it gets at all. It's honestly better if you just keep it non-Pack-a-Punched and keep buying the cheap ammo over and over again. But let's go ahead and move on to the next spot. This weapon is only really known for its role in transit. Number 48, we have the FAL, or the FAL, whatever you call this thing. It is the most boring weapon in the entire game. Whenever you get it from the box, you just kind of roll your eyes and just be like, oh, okay, really, the FAL? I don't know what it is. It's not the worst gun ever, though. When you Pack-a-Punch it, it becomes a 3-round burst, but it shoots slow. Like, it's not like a fast burst. It's more like a do-do-do, like, it's not that fast. And the fire rate on it is just super weird. It feels like there's a cap, and then it feels like there isn't one. It's just a whatever gun to me. There's no point in really using it at all. My opinion from the Black Ops 1 video about this weapon has not changed. It is still the same. Let's go ahead and move on. Next up, we have the Barrett Sniper Rifle. So, the Barrett actually does have some damage. I will give credit where it is due, alright? This thing packs a little bit of a punch. But the reality of the situation is that the ammo count on this thing is very low. It is a semi-automatic sniper rifle, which you would think is a good thing, but the recoil is so much when you're aiming down sight with a scope. The Barrett is one of those weapons that when you get it from the box, you just immediately want to get rid of it, and for that reason, it has this spot. At number 46, we have the Remington shotgun. This is probably the most inconsistent weapon in the entire game in terms of damage. I feel like it's 1 hit kill or 3 hits. It just depends on how many pellets hit the zombies, but because of that, it's super inconsistent. It is a wall gun, but it's 1,500 freaking points, and it doesn't even give you that many points in return. So this thing is honestly just not worth using, but when you use it, it can be fun sometimes. It's like a pump action, right? It's fun, but it's not that great. And right after that, we have another mid-wall weapon, which is going to go to the 5.7. Shouldn't there be a 6 in there somewhere? Anyway, the 5.7 is a wall weapon on Origins, and it is in the mystery box on the other maps. The 5.7 is a gun that is really fun to use. I like the way it shoots and the way it feels and stuff. It is very satisfying. But it's not the best gun in the world, okay? It is good for a pistol, I'll give it that, but there's no point in really using this thing past like round 15. There's no point in Pack-a-Punching it. It's just one of those guns from the box that you might use for a few rounds and then get rid of it. It's not bad, but it's not necessarily good either. And next up, we have the dual-wield 5.7s, which is right after the single 5.7, because in this case, 2 is better than 1, because you just have double the firepower. On a mode like Zombies, I guess the accuracy isn't as important in certain situations, so having double damage at the cost of less accuracy is definitely worth it here. At number 43, we have the Type 25, also known as the Dempsey. The Type 25 is a gun that would be a good weapon if it didn't have as much recoil as it did have when it's not Pack-a-Punched, and if it had more ammo. This was a decent weapon before the recoil nerf, but afterwards, it's just an annoying gun to use, and it's not worth pack-a-punching either, in comparison to other weapons at least, because it just doesn't have a lot of ammo in it. So it's just a whatever gun. There's no point in using this thing at all. It's always that gun that you wish you didn't get from the box, but you have it. So it is what it is. It's better than the stuff we just talked about, I guess, but not that much better. Number 42, we have a gun that is in a similar situation to that of the Type 25, and that's going to be the MAA-1. Now, if this was a multiplayer weapon ranking, this would be like number 1 or 2, but on zombies, it's okay. When it's not pack-a-punched, it has a ton of recoil. It's just annoying to use this thing. And when you pack-a-punch it, I will say it is pretty decent. I would say it has like average damage, average ammo. It's just kind of a whatever gun though. It's one of those that I just wouldn't recommend using for long-term survival or worth pack-a-punching. You kind of just get it from the box, use it for a few rounds, and then drop it. That's really all I gotta say about it though. Next up, we have the M1216. This is a shotgun that's full auto, burst, sort of. It's like a weird hybrid of a gun, but it's actually pretty freaking good. It is a get-out-of-my-way shotgun for sure, but just like the S12 that we talked about before, the ammo count isn't that great. Now, I will say it's not as bad as the S12, and I do find it to be pretty useful on a map like Origins to kill Panzers with. And it does have pretty good damage, but you're just going to run out of bullets pretty quick. It's not the best option in the entire world. There are better guns to use for survival, but it is fun. And speaking of guns that are fun to use, but not all that great, we have the Scorpion. Now, I know some people are going to be like, whoa, 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 how in the world is the Scorpion in this spot? It's so good. Let's think about this for a second. It doesn't have a lot of ammo for starters, but okay, I'm willing to look past that for a second. A lot of guns don't have a lot of ammo, okay? Here is the reason why the Scorpion is not as good as you think it is. Yes, it has a good DPS, but the reality of the situation is that if this weapon was not an Origins exclusive, it would just be another wasted box hit, essentially. It would just be like another whatever gun that's in the box. But because it is an exclusive on Origins, it gets this reputation of being this amazing gun. It is fun to use, and it's really awesome when you get it from the box because of that exclusivity. But in all practicality, there are much better options in the Scorpion. And one of those options is going to be the MP40. Now, I know all the statistics lovers out there are going to be like, well, hold on a second. The MP40 has literally half of the DPS that the Scorpion has. And that is true, okay? I'm fully aware of that. But the MP40 is a wall gun. You can keep buying ammo over and over again for this thing. I'm not going to act like the wall gun part doesn't matter here, because it does. It's the reality of the situation. It is a good starting weapon, I'll say. It's kind of weak, but, you know, it helps you get points to get set up and whatnot. It's not worth pack-a-punching, though. This is a weapon that you use purely to get set up on Origins, and then you never touch it again. When you pack-a-punch it, it's fun to use, I guess. It's just not all that practical in comparison to a bunch of other weapons that are on the map. But the fact that it's an Origins exclusive, and the fact that it is a classic zombies weapon as well, all the way back from World at War, does make it unique. And next up, we have a gun that is similar to the MP40, and that is going to be the MP5. So the MP5 is actually on every single map in Black Ops 2 Zombies except Origins, and it serves as like the standard default most middle-of-the-road SMG to get set up early game. I will say the MP5 was very strong on the Green Run maps and Mob of the Dead. This is a weapon that is better left unpack-a-punched because it doesn't really get that much better damage-wise and ammo-wise. When you pack-a-punch this thing, you're going to get more for your money by just buying the non-pack-a-punched ammo over and over again. The main reason why the MP5 is so good, though, is because it is tied alongside the ballistic knife and the Chicom of having the fastest mobility in the entire game. And the fact that it is a wall gun that you can keep buying ammo for makes it a really good insta-kill weapon for high rounds as well. So that's why I'm putting it right here. At number 37, we have the AK-74U. This was one of the best wall guns in Black Ops 1 Zombies, and it was pretty good on the Green Run maps, but when it came time for the DLC cycle, this weapon got completely overshadowed. nobody was using the AK-74U on Die Rise and Buried, okay? It's just how it is. I feel like this weapon is mostly known for being the weapon that you have on transit when you just enter the town and you have almost no ammo. Like, that's just what this gun is known for on Black Ops 2 Zombies, and that's just the brutal truth of the situation. It does have some damage behind it, sure, but just not really worth using past, like, round 15, maybe. And next up, we have the M16. This is another one of those Black Ops 1 wall guns. It was a good gun on transit with its tunnel placement, but that's really the only time that this weapon got to shine in Black Ops 2, because it's not on the survival maps other than Nuketown, and it's not on Mob of the Dead or Origins. It is on Die Rise and Buried, but the wall weapons on those maps are way better. So this is just a weapon that gets forgotten in Black Ops 2. I do think that the Pack-a-Punched version of the M16 is better than the Pack-a-Punched AK-74U, but I don't think that the non-Pack-a-Punched M16 is better than the AK-74U. So you could really flip both of those guns around to your own personal preference. I like the M16 more. I like the Tony Montana feel with the grenade launcher that it has. But that's really about it. They're just very forgettable wall weapons in this game. Number 35, we have a very, very surprise entry, and that's going to be the War Machine. Now, yes, the non-Pack-a-Punched War Machine is one of the worst guns in the game. It's an F-tier weapon right next to the SMR. It's terrible. But when you Pack-a-Punch it, it becomes much better. The grenades detonate on impact, which is how this thing should have been anyway. However, that doesn't mean that it's that great. A lot of people like to think that the Pack-a-Punched War Machine, it's like a single Mustang and Sally. Oh, it can't be that bad. The brutal truth is that the damage, even when you Pack-a-Punch the War Machine, only has half of the damage of one Mustang and Sally shot. So, yes, it detonates on impact, but it's still really not that good, honestly. So that's why I'm putting it here at number 35. It could be fun to use and try out, especially on a map like Origins, which has PhD, but really not the best thing ever. And next up, we have basically the better version of the War Machine, and that's going to be the RPG. And the only reason that I'm putting the RPG above the War Machine is because at least when it's not Pack-a-Punched, it's still usable, right? And plus, the full auto nature of the RPG is really cool. I get it, it's gimmicky, okay? But it's cool, I don't care. And I feel like this thing is actually not too bad. Like, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I feel like it's actually pretty good in certain situations. So I think the RPG is better than the War Machine, so I'm going to put it one spot above it. Next up, we have the Death Machine. This is another special weapon, and I'm putting it here at number 33 because I just have no idea where to put it. Because on one hand, it has pretty good damage and a lot of ammo, like an insane amount of ammo, over 1,000 rounds when you Pack-a-Punch it. So that's good, but on the other hand, you are so slow with it. You can't run around with this weapon. You have to have another weapon to run around with, and then you pull this one out and shoot the zombies. So it's like a weapon that you can't even use without having a lighter weapon alongside it. And also, one big thing about the Death Machine that people don't think about is that there are only 2 magazines, and they're worth 550 bullets apiece. The problem with this is that when you get a max ammo, you might lose an entire mag worth of ammo. So you're not going to get 1,000 rounds, you're only going to get 550 if you have 0 bullets and you get refilled on max ammo, because it doesn't refill your magazine. So you really have to be conservative with the ammo and not spray it all out, because you'll never get back to 1,000 rounds. It is a fun weapon to use, and it is very unique, but it's not the most practical thing in the world for most situations. At number 32, we have the M1927. This is a weapon that is exclusive on the wall on Mob of the Dead, and it's in the mystery box on Origins. This is a very interesting weapon because it's not the strongest thing in the world, but it does have a lot of ammo and it is very good at getting points. This weapon is mainly important because of its aura that it has on this map, specifically on Mob of the Dead at least, because it's like the 1920s, the gangster setting, it just fits it all. This is not a weapon that I would recommend Pack-a-Punching though. This is purely designed to help get you set up on the early rounds, and then you drop it off for something else, but it is a super fun thing to use. But it is not, in my opinion, the best SMG on Mob of the Dead off the wall. And that's because at number 31, we have the Uzi. Now, this might sound sacrilegious, this might get me canceled, okay? But in my personal opinion, the Uzi is the better wall gun SMG over the Tommy gun on Mob of the Dead. And it's not just because the time to kill is faster, but it also has a good bit of ammo as well, and it does have 3 really good wall locations, unlike the Tommy gun, which only has 1 location down at the docks. I still feel like this weapon fits the theme of Mob of the Dead because it's still a gangster gun, even if it's not like a 20s gangster gun. And when it comes to pack-a-punching it, just like the N1927, I just don't necessarily think that it's worth it. There are much better options. This is mainly a weapon used to help get you set up, but either way, it's still really cool. At number 30, we have the PDW-57. This is a P90, basically. It has 50 rounds in the magazine, and it has a good bit of ammo as well, and it's also a wall gun on Die Rise and Buried. It is a super good gun to help get you set up, and oddly enough, it's also in the box on Mob of the Dead and Origins. So, you know, I guess that's kind of cool, but the fact that it is a wall weapon on Die Rise and Buried really elevates this weapon. It's very similar to the Tommy gun where it has a big mag and it's good for helping you get set up. But again, like I've been saying this entire time, with all these wall gun SMGs, don't pack-a-punch it, it's not worth it. But in comparison to all of the pack-a-punched wall guns that are SMGs, I think the PDW-57 is the best of all of them, but not by that much. Next up, we have the STG-44. This is a wall assault rifle that is exclusive to the map Origins. And this, in my opinion, has always been the better alternative wall buy to the MP40 on this map. I guess the one bad thing in comparison to the MP40 is that the wall locations aren't as good for this weapon, but it makes up for it in ammo count and damage. This is actually a wall weapon that I would recommend pack-a-punching because it is so powerful that it's honestly a pretty good option to use upgraded. However, it is still relatively weak if we're comparing it to other assault rifles in this game that are going to come later, so I felt like this was a good spot. And next up, we have the Python Revolver. This was a weapon in Black Ops 1 Zombies that surprisingly had pretty decent damage. And in Black Ops 2, it's even better because of Double Tap 2.0. And my point is the exact same in Black Ops 1 that it is in this game. It is a super fun gun to use, especially with Deadshot as well. You can pop the zombies' heads off with it, and it has good damage even into the mid-20s, but it's not the most versatile weapon in the entire world, and you're probably going to run out of ammo somewhat fast with it, but it does hold out a little bit. It's a fun weapon to use, just not the most practical thing ever. And I will add that the Origins Pack-a-Punch camo on this weapon looks amazing. I've never actually seen it before. And at number 27, right after the Python, it only makes sense to have the Remington New Model Army. For those who don't know, this Buried exclusive weapon is the exact same thing as the Python. It has the exact same stats, but it has a whole new look. It's like this old-timey Western revolver, and it actually is statistically a little bit better, and that's because the non-pack-a-punch reload is faster than the Python. So I will say, I guess it even is statistically better, but it's almost the exact same weapon. It just looks a lot cooler, and I feel like it deserves to have one spot above the Python. And next up, we have the KSG. This is a weapon that is exclusive to Origins, and in my honest opinion, it is the best regular shotgun in Black Ops 2 Zombies. There are 2 pseudo shotguns later in this list that we'll get to, but if we're talking about just regular shotguns, this is the best one. For starters, it has a pretty good amount of ammo in comparison to all the other shotguns. It has really good damage and a really good range. This weapon does have a pretty quick fall off, however, when you get to about round 30 or so, but either way, it is still a super fun weapon to use. And it is cool that it is an Origins exclusive, but that alone is not enough to put this weapon above all the other weapons that we have to talk about still. At number 25, we have the MTAR. This is a weapon that is probably going to surprise a lot of people with its placement on this list, but this weapon is surprisingly better than I remembered. So a lot of people like to say that the MTAR is sort of in the same league as the Type 25 and the M8, you know, those traditionally weaker assault rifles in Black Ops 2 Zombies, but it does not deserve that reputation at all, actually. This weapon has the exact same stats as our next weapon that we're going to be talking about, which often gets a lot of praise, while this one doesn't really get any. So I think it only fits to talk about the next weapon, which is going to be the M27. So the M27 gets all this praise of being one of the best assault rifles ever, but it literally only has 10 more damage than the MTAR, which, for those who don't know how zombies works, that basically is nothing at all. Like, no difference, basically, and that is honestly why I just have to put them right next to each other, because they're almost the exact same weapon. The only reason that the M27 is one place above the MTAR is because of the exclusive nature that it has on Nuketown. And at number 23, we have the AK-47. Now, this is a Mob of the Dead exclusive weapon, so it will get some aura points here, and it also fits like the gangster theme as well. But this weapon is not statistically as good as I thought it was. Let's start off with this ammo thing first. The ammo on this weapon, Pack-a-Punched, is literally 300, which is what some assault rifles in this game start out at. In fact, it's lower than some of them, so it's not that good on ammo. And you might say, okay, well, it makes up for it in damage. And while this weapon does have higher damage for the assault rifle category in Black Ops 2 Zombies, it's not as good as you might think it is. So the only thing that really makes this weapon super special is the exclusive nature behind it. Yes, it packs a punch, especially to the head, but it's not as great as people remember. And next up, we have a weapon that, again, is statistically way worse than I thought it was. Now, don't get me wrong, the RPD is an amazing weapon in Black Ops 2, but it's because of the ammo. If it didn't have the ammo that it had, this weapon would not be as good as you think. It actually has less damage than the last 3 assault rifles that we just talked about. So that's what I mean. If it wasn't for the ammo, this weapon wouldn't really be that special. It also has significantly less damage than all the other LMGs in the game, and it has the slowest reload time. So yes, this weapon is a dog, and it is remembered in a good way, but it's not as good as you actually think. At number 21, we have the Executioner. This is one of those 2 pseudo shotguns I was talking about earlier when we were on the KSG. The Executioner is a pistol, but it shoots shotgun shells. So it's like a mix between the two almost. And this weapon is awesome. It is actually such a good weapon. It is a one-hit kill to the head with double tap until round 34, I think, which is super good. And it also has a lot of ammo as well. If we're talking about Black Ops 2 shotguns, this is a really good get-out-of-my-way weapon, and it has good mobility as well because it's a pistol. So it's like everything that you would want this type of weapon to be, so I have to put it here in the 21st spot. At number 20, we have a weapon that was very iconic and beloved in Black Ops 1 Zombies, and it made its way to Black Ops 2. And it's better than the Black Ops 1 version because of Double Tap 2 in this game. This weapon is a beast, okay? It has the second highest damage of any assault rifle in Black Ops 2, and it has a good bit of ammo as well. It's the Galil, okay? We all know about how good this gun actually is. There really isn't too much to say about it, other than comparing it to other assault rifles that are similar. And one of those assault rifles is going to be the Scar H. This weapon actually has the highest damage of any assault rifle in the entire game, with 300 damage, which is super good. That's actually 80 more damage than the second highest damage one, which is the Galil. So, like I said, a beast of a weapon. It actually has pretty good ammo as well. It was really difficult to rank this weapon and the Galil, however, in comparison to another beastly Black Ops 2 assault rifle, and that assault rifle is going to be the AN-94. So this weapon actually has 100 less damage than the Scar H. And you might be thinking, okay, well, how is this weapon above the Scar? And it comes down to the fact that this is a wall weapon on Die Rise and Buried. This weapon being on the wall is insane, by the way. And it's not just that, but it also has more ammo in general. It has over 100 bullets more than both the Galil and the Scar. So you kind of have to pick what's going to be more important for you. Is it going to be damage or is it going to be ammo? And it's really your own personal preference. It is very difficult to rank these 3 assault rifles because they're all so good. But in my opinion, with my playstyle and what I prefer, the AN-94 is going to be above the Scar and the Galil simply because it is a wall weapon. And at number 17, we are going to be talking about the Hammer. Now, this is one of 3 LMGs that we're about to talk about, and the reason why the Hammer is in this specific spot is because it is the least accurate of all of them, and it has the most amount of recoil. They actually all have similar ammo and similar damage to one another, but this one is simply here because of the things I just talked about, the accuracy and the recoil, in comparison to the other two. You have to really get into these weapons because they are just so similar statistically. And one of those LMGs that is slightly better is going to be the LSAT. Now, the reason that I'm putting the LSAT above the hammer is because it has a better accuracy and it almost has like no recoil, to be honest. And it's also a wall weapon on buried, which is a big deal. And really, you can interchange this between the hammer. It just depends on what you want more, and that's because the reload on the LSAT actually is pretty slow. So, again, you can kind of pick which one you like more, but they have basically the exact same damage as well. So I'm going to put the LSAT right here for my personal preferences. And next up, we have another weapon that is similar to the last two LMGs that we just talked about damage-wise, and that's going to be the MG08. This is an LMG that is exclusive to the map Origins, and it actually has the exact same stats as the LSAT, not just damage-wise, but accuracy as well. And the only reason that it is above the LSAT, there's two reasons. It's because of the reload being faster. Just, that's always good. But it also has ricochet bullets. So for those who don't know, whenever you shoot with this weapon, the bullets kind of bounce off the wall a little bit and they bounce off the zombies whenever you shoot it. It might be kind of hard to see and it's pretty easily unnoticed, but that makes it better than the LSAT in my opinion. Next up, we have the DSR-50. This is a high-damage sniper rifle, which is a one-shot to the head with double tap and pack-a-punch until round 40. So that is really impressive. The damage alone on this thing is what carries it. Yes, it is a sniper, so it is unversatile. It's not great for insta-kills either, but it is super powerful. And if you pack-a-punch it enough times, you will get the iron sights as well, which is very helpful, but it is not the best sniper in Black Ops 2 Zombies, and that's because this weapon right here exists. And that weapon is the SVU-AS. So this weapon actually has less damage per shot than the DSR. So right away, some people might think, okay, really? Like, how is this thing better than the DSR? Well, not only does it have a faster fire rate, but it is also a wall weapon on Die Rise and Buried, which are two maps that have the DSR. So there's no point in using that weapon when this one exists. The damage per second is higher on this weapon because of the fire rate, especially if you go for headshots as well. This thing is a monster, and you can just keep buying ammo off the wall over and over again, but it also has really good ammo in general. As you can see, I have around 200 rounds pack-a-punched. This is a dark horse of a weapon. I know some people know that it's like one of the best guns in the game, but a lot of people often disregard it because it's a wall weapon sniper. People just think it's not going to be that good, and in comparison to the AN-94 as well, it often would just get overshadowed, but this weapon is one of the elites of Black Ops 2, and I'm here giving it recognition. At number 12, we have the M1911. I know that this placement is going to ruffle some feathers because a lot of people have the opinion that Mustang and Sally isn't as good as it was in Black Ops 1 because of the lack of PhD and because a lot of the weapons are just generally better in Black Ops 2, so they kind of outshine the Mustang and Sally a little bit. But because of the splash damage effect that this weapon has, it is able to damage multiple zombies per shot, and that alone is what puts it up so high. There is another weapon that we're going to get to that does that job way better than the Mustang and Sally does, but the fact that you could just simply put the pistol in the pack-a-punch and then you have these weapons does make it super good. And the exact same thing could be said about our next weapon, which is the Mauser C96 pistol. Just like the M1911, it is super weak as your starting pistol, but when you pack-a-punch it, it goes from 0 to 1000. And that is because it turns into the Boom Hilda. This is an amazing weapon on Origins. Now, it doesn't have splash damage, so you can only damage 1 or 2 zombies per shot, but it kills those zombies really quick, and it is a safe weapon to use. It just depends on your preference and what you personally want, really, between the two, because one of them does a lot of damage to multiple zombies per shot, and this one does a lot of damage to one zombie per shot, but it is much safer to use because there's no splash damage. You can honestly interchange the Mustang and Sally and the Boomhilda in whichever order you want for your personal preference. I personally think the Boomhilda is slightly better. As we officially enter the top 10, I'm going to say that every single weapon from this point on is a wonder weapon, and we all know why these weapons are at the top, so I'm just going to quickly go over them. So at number 10, we have the ray gun. So the ray gun is the worst wonder weapon in the entire game, but it is still very, very useful. Each shot of the ray gun does damage to multiple zombies because of the splash damage, and if you bundle them all up together in a big train, it is really effective. And because you have a bunch of ammo as well, it's basically like the Mustang and Sally just with way more ammo, and that's why I'm putting it right here. At number 9, we have the Sweeper. So this is a wonder weapon which barely classifies as a wonder weapon in my opinion, but it is still super good. It's basically just a really high-powered shotgun. This is again one of those pseudo shotguns I was talking about earlier, and it really just comes down to the fact that there is just a bunch of damage per shot in this thing, but it's not as wonder weapon-y as you think, if that's even a term to use here. So I put it in the same caliber as a weapon like the ray gun, where it is super good and it's technically a wonder weapon, but it's not as good as other ones in the game. The exact same thing could be said about the lightning staff. I know this is going to sound crazy to put a staff from Origins right here, but statistically speaking, this staff is significantly worse than all the other ones. In the earlier rounds, it is pretty good at getting a couple zombies out of your way, sure, okay? And it has a lot of ammo in it, but in the higher rounds, this thing craps out pretty quick in comparison to the other ones. And the next weapon that we're going to be talking about is actually better in my opinion. Like, I would rather have this weapon right here, the Ray Gun Mark II, than the Lightning Staff. Genuinely, I would. I mean, it's just how it is. For me, I feel like the zombies get killed faster with the Mark II, and they have similar damages, believe it or not, between the Lightning Staff and the Ray Gun Mark II. So this is my personal placement. And next up, we have the Paralyzer. This is an infinite ammo wonder weapon, which that alone makes it super good, but the damage on this thing once you get past round 50 or so really begins to fall off, and a lot of people like to think that Buried is a super easy map, but try going for round 100, okay? It's actually really difficult, and that's because the Paralyzer doesn't really do a whole lot. The weapon is really freaking cool because you have the ability to fly with it. Like, that is just so awesome to me. At number 5, we have the Vitriolic Withering. This is the other wonder weapon that is on Mob of the Dead that you can get with the Blundergat. So the Sweeper was like a high-powered shotgun, and this weapon acts as a monkey bomb. And it is much better than a regular monkey bomb as well. This is the ultimate save your life gun if you get trapped, because you could just spray this thing everywhere and the zombies will be completely distracted. It is a super unique wonder weapon. I will say the damage does fall off. It's not the best weapon in the world for like super high rounds, but it is extremely helpful in the way that it does blow up a lot of zombies and it can save your life if you get trapped in a corner. But it's not as good as our next spot, which is the Fire Staff. When it comes to the Fire Staff, it is pretty good. I feel like it kills panzers pretty quick, and it can also save your life in a pinch. It's one of those where if you get caught in a corner, you might be able to save yourself with it. And that is really why I'm putting it right here. The Fire Staff in the later rounds actually can cause your game to crash, but if you're going for that long anyway, you shouldn't even be using the Fire Staff. Now, the Wind Staff is our next weapon that we're going to be talking about, and I feel like you could sort of, interchange it with the Fire Staff. Really, it just depends on what you personally like more. It doesn't have as much ammo, but I feel like it has a better storm effect when killing zombies, and also it blows them away like a thunder gun as well. So that is pretty good, but it's nothing compared to the Ice Staff. This weapon is actually not super good at saving you if you're getting trapped in a corner, but it is the best weapon for high rounds if you train them up correctly, and if you play proactive enough with it, it can also save your life as well if you're about to die. And this weapon can get you till about round 100, and then it kind of stops a little bit, but because it can get you to that round by itself, I just have to put it here at number 2, but it is not as good as the number 1 weapon in this game, and it's actually the only Die Rise exclusive weapon in this entire video, and that is the Sliquifier. If you didn't know it, then you know now. This is the best weapon in Black Ops 2. Sit in the elevator shaft with it, you'll get to round 100 in no time, and it gets you till about round 100, just like the Ice Staff, and then you can't really use it anymore. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching, everybody. This has been ranking every single weapon in Black Ops 2 Zombies from worst to best. We will be going to Black Ops 3 Zombies next to finish off this little mini-series of me ranking all the weapons in every game. I'm not going to be doing Advanced Warfare for this little mini-series or any of the other zombie games. It's because of the different Pack-a-Punch systems and the different variants of weapons and rarities and all the other stuff that the other games have. It would just be too complicated, and I feel like the majority of people only care about World at War to Black Ops 3 anyway. But stay tuned, because Black Ops 3 is next, but if you want to watch me rank every weapon in Black Ops 1 Zombies, then be sure to click this video on screen right now. But anyway, I'll see y'all in the next one.